Hello, this is Stefan again from schristoph.online. Today we'll talk about my latest blog post, Getting Paid by Agents, a managed paywall at the edge. It's part 3 of my agentic commerce series, and this time I flipped from the agent that pays to the publisher that gets paid. The first 2 parts looked at agentic commerce from the buyer's seat. This one flips to the sellers. In part 2, the publisher was a 40-line lambda at the edge that returned an HTTP 402 with a price, a network, and a wallet. That was the baseline. It established the protocol contract and deliberately stopped there, because part 2's subject was the agent, not the gate. You might ask, isn't calling that lambda a baseline just spin for it never worked? Not at all. The lambda did one job well, returning a well-formed 402, so part 2's agent could function. What it deliberately left out was verifying funds and settling on chain. The managed feature is that same contract with verification and settlement added. Evolution, not a fix for something broken. Here's the demo of it running. One WAF Web ACL prices the same content differently by tier and by agent class, returns a 402, and settles the agent's payment on-chain at the edge, with no lambda. I'll keep scrolling, but the full 3-minute demo is embedded right here in the post if you want to watch it play. This is all built on a feature AWS WAF shipped on June 15th, 2026. AI traffic monetization. Here's the official AWS WAF developer guide for it. It lets a content or API provider charge AI bots and agents for access directly at the CloudFront edge, and it's available globally at no additional charge beyond standard WAF pricing. The mechanics straight from the docs. A client requests a monetized resource, WAF returns a 402 with pricing and accepted payment networks. The client submits a signed payment authorization, and WAF verifies it, fetches origin, and settles on-chain. You configure 2 things on the web: ACL, a monetize rule action, which is terminating, and a monetization config holding the base price and the payout wallet. This is the lifecycle worth drawing. The interesting part is what the edge now does between the 402 and the 200. It verifies the signed authorization, fetches origin, and settles on-chain only on a successful response. A failed origin is never charged. A natural question, is AWS taking a cut of the payment? No. AWS is not a party to or in the flow of funds. The USDC transfers directly from the client's wallet to your configured wallet through Coinbase's X402 facilitator, and settlement only happens after origin returns a success. Here's the payment and settlement reference. 2 protocols meet here. X402 is the open machine-to-machine payment protocol on the wire, and RSL, really simple licensing, is how you tell an agent what it's allowed to do with content once it has paid, discoverable on a free fetch. The adjacent license terms page in the same guide covers RSL in full. A flat, every agent pays, the same send paywall is the boring version. The managed feature is more interesting because it lets you price on 2 independent axes at once. What the content is and who is asking. I encoded that as a 2-dimensional matrix in a single web ACL, where the effective price is the base price times a content tier multiplier times an agent class multiplier. Read the grid as a strategy, a search crawler that sends your readers reads for free. A known summarization agent pays list price, an unverified bot pays double. A training crawler gets a 403, and a human never sees a 402 at all. Monetization answers how much. It doesn't answer what you're allowed to do once you've paid for that. The feature leans on RSL, machine-readable license terms, discoverable through robots.xtext, an HTTP link header, an HTML link element or feed. One subtlety the docs are explicit about: the 402 challenge itself does not carry the link header, so an agent discovers your terms on a free fetch, not on the payment challenge. The whole point of this publisher is what's missing from it. There is no lambda edge. WAF returns the 402, verifies, fetches, and settles. The publisher owns configuration, not a function. Because the monetize action is only days old and not yet typed in the CDK construct. I injected the rule set through the L1 escape hatch, and CloudFormation accepted the new shape with no rollback. Here's an honest caveat. In the demo, the agent class is read from a self-asserted request header, so a viewer can drive the whole matrix from curl. That header is trivially spoofable, so you must never price real traffic on it. In production, you replace each header match with a WAF bot control label match, plus webbot auth, which is exactly what the docs recommend. Because the feature was 2 days old, I didn't take the happy pass on faith. Running it live on Base Sepolia testnet, the matrix differentiated exactly as designed, and then it settled for real. The agent bought 3 articles across all 3 tiers. The amounts matched the matrix to the micro unit, and the payer's balance dropped from 20 USDC to 19.976. The transaction hashes are public and they're in the repo's validation node. If you're running this on AWS, the publisher side is end-to-end. WAF for the 402, verify and settle at the edge. CloudFront for content delivery and the RSL link header. S3 for origin content. The Coinbase facilitator for on-chain settlement, and WAF bot control for agent classification in production. The managed action is a piece that means there's no edge function to own. The full source for both publishers, the original Lambda paywall, and this managed WAF publisher, plus the paying agent, is on GitHub at github.com/Decra/agentcore payments media demo. It deploys with CDK, and the README now features both demo videos. The whole matrix is observable with curl at 0 cost on testnet. Only the actual on-chain settlement needs your own funded wallet. So if trust is still unsolved, what did part 3 actually add over part 2? The seller's infrastructure, part 2 proved an agent can pay. Part 3 proves a publisher can charge, verify and settle as managed configuration with no edge code. What's still unsolved is the middle layer, classifying an agent honestly and an agent deciding which priced publisher to believe. The plumbing is done, the judgment is not. That's where I think the next mode gets built. Thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful. If so, you can reach out on LinkedIn directly or head to my blog at schristoph.online. Let's keep in touch. Take care.